Stacey Abrams is in, and now the 2022 Georgia governor's race is a guaranteed must follow. The Democrat and voting rights activist made it official yesterday in a video that made no mention of Republican incumbent Brian Kemp.
Opportunity and success in Georgia shouldn't be determined by your zip code, background, or access to power. But if our Georgia is going to move to its next and greatest chapter, we're going to need leadership. Leadership that doesn't take credit without also taking responsibility. Leadership that understands the true pain folks are feeling and has real plans.
An Abrams-Kemp race would be a marquee rematch. She lost in 2018 by just shy of 55,000 votes. But a rematch is not guaranteed. Kemp, remember, refused to help Donald Trump cheat in 2020. And the former president is trying to find a big-name primary challenger back into the room. This was Brian Kemp, the incumbent's reaction to this yesterday, a series of tweets. He would like to run against Stacey Abrams again, and he would like to run. He talks about woke politics. He talks about a far-left agenda. He talks about she just wants power, and he talks about the Biden agenda. He wants to run a traditional Republican race. But...
yeah, he could be facing a serious primary from David Perdue, the former Georgia senator who lost narrowly in the runoff in January and who is now being encouraged to run against Kemp by none other than Donald J. Trump. Why? Because, as you said earlier, Trump is not happy that Kemp would not echo and even go beyond echo, sort of actively engage in trying to overturn the results of the Georgia election. And if Perdue does that, that could really create a bloody Republican primary for the first half of the year and give Abrams a better chance.
This, to your point, this was Trump's statement yesterday. The mega base will just not vote for him after what he did with respect to election integrity and 2 horribly run elections. Some good Republican will get my endorsement and some good Republican will win. Again, for the record, for the facts, Governor Kemp refused to help Trump cheat. That was what Trump was trying to cheat. But the Abrams campaign, to me, is a fascinating test, right? Next year, president's first midterm, right. Traditionally bad for the party in power. Her whole calling card, voting rights, activism, sign up, organize, vote, and do it in a way that can overcome tides, that can overcome election tides. So to me, this is just a fascinating test, especially in the middle of this national conversation about voting rights and election laws to take those away.
I have to say, following the Supreme Court oral arguments yesterday in a case that could affect Roe v. Wade, and then her announcement, I felt like there was some sort of starting gun for 2022. You know what I mean? Like that the biggest issues are reaching their boiling point. But to your point, she's a very consistent candidate. And, you know, voting is good. It's not like some crazy hot potato issue, even though it has become more politicized. And she's been remarkably consistent in her focus. So I don't actually see her as that much of a wild card, right? The wildest part is who the Republican candidate is.
Right, but to that point, she is a consistent candidate, and she's an energetic candidate. Can she convince Democrats who might be discouraged, right? Maybe you voted for Joe Biden and you're not getting everything you wanted. But please come out.
Right, and please come out. I also think another big question I have is if Perdue doesn't get in the race, what does Trump do about Kemp? Does he actually stump for him? Does he actively try to discourage him from winning? I mean, we saw what Trump's involvement did in the Georgia Senate races, lost them for Republicans and handed the majority to the Senate. What does he do here? He's also quipped and joked before that Stacey Abrams would have been a better governor than Brian Kemp. So that's joked, but not really joking, but not really joking. So
2 fast points. I was at the RGA a couple weeks ago in Phoenix, the sort of post-election conference that the GOP governors hold, and there was some talk there that actually the better case for the party would be if Perdue is able to beat Kemp in the primary, because they are so concerned, and this is just chatter, not from the governors themselves who are committed to Kemp, but there's chatter that Trump is so dead set against Kemp that he's going to undermine him in a general election. And if just 20,000 GOP voters stay home, that could be really devastating to the cause. So maybe a Perdue nomination and a united party gives us a better shot.